You'd never guess this. Olympic athletes and retirees in their 70s are now using the same bright blue compound to boost energy, focus and recovery. It's called methylene blue, a chemical first used to treat malaria over a century ago, and somehow it's now the secret weapon for sharper thinking and stronger performance. But is it the next breakthrough in human optimization, or are people playing with fire? Let's separate fact from hype. This isn't your typical protein powder or creatine supplement sitting on the shelves at your local nutrition store. This is a compound that's been around since the 1800s, primarily used as a medical treatment and industrial dye. But lately it's been making waves in two completely unexpected communities: elite athletes looking for that competitive edge, and older adults desperately seeking to reclaim their mental sharpness. Like and subscribe to the channel so we can benefit you by creating more great content with you in mind. And as a thank you, download this video's free guide from the link in the description below. The question everyone's asking is simple. Are we looking at the next breakthrough in human performance, or are people playing with fire by experimenting with a chemical they barely understand? Today, we're going to dissect everything you need to know about methylene blue, from its fascinating history to why athletes and seniors are willing to turn their tongues blue for the promise of enhanced focus and energy. Let me start with what methylene blue actually is, because most people have absolutely no clue. Methylene blue is a synthetic compound that belongs to a class of chemicals called phenothiazines. It was first synthesized in 1876 by German chemist Heinrich Caro, and its original purpose was far from performance enhancement. This compound was initially used as a textile dye, giving fabrics that distinctive deep blue color that was all the rage in Victorian fashion. But here's where things get interesting. Scientists quickly discovered that methylene blue had remarkable antimicrobial properties. By the early 1900s, it was being used to treat malaria, and during both world wars, it became a crucial medication for treating a condition called methemoglobinemia, which can be fatal if left untreated. Fast forward to today, and methylene blue is still used in hospitals around the world for various medical conditions, including certain types of poisoning and as a diagnostic tool during surgeries. So how did we go from treating tropical diseases to athletes chugging blue liquid before their workouts? The answer lies in what methylene blue does at the cellular level, and this is where the science gets absolutely fascinating. At its core, methylene blue functions as what scientists call a mitochondrial enhancer. Your mitochondria are essentially the powerhouses of your cells, responsible for producing the energy that keeps you alive and functioning. Think of them as tiny batteries scattered throughout your body, constantly working to fuel everything from your heartbeat to your ability to think clearly. Here's what makes methylene blue special. It can actually improve the efficiency of these cellular powerhouses. The compound works by accepting and donating electrons in the mitochondrial respiratory chain, which is the process your cells use to convert nutrients into usable energy. In simpler terms, methylene blue acts like a turbocharger for your cellular engines, potentially allowing them to produce more energy with less waste. But that's not all. Methylene blue also appears to have neuroprotective properties, meaning it might help protect your brain cells from damage. Some research suggests it can enhance cognitive function, improve memory formation, and even increase mental clarity. For athletes who need split-second decision-making and laser focus, and for older adults experiencing age-related cognitive decline, these potential benefits are incredibly appealing. Now let's talk about why athletes are gravitating toward this compound. In the world of competitive sports, the margins between winning and losing are often measured in milliseconds or millimeters. Athletes are constantly searching for legal ways to gain even the smallest advantage, and methylene blue has caught their attention for several reasons. First, there's the cognitive enhancement aspect. Modern sports aren't just about physical prowess, they require incredible mental acuity. A tennis player needs to process visual information and make tactical decisions in fractions of a second. A marathon runner needs to maintain focus and motivation for over 2 hours straight. Any compound that can sharpen mental clarity and maintain concentration could theoretically provide a significant competitive advantage. Second, there's the potential for improved cellular energy production. If methylene blue can indeed enhance mitochondrial function, it could theoretically help athletes maintain higher energy levels for longer periods. This isn't about getting a quick caffeine-like rush. It's about potentially improving the fundamental efficiency of how your body produces and uses energy at the cellular level. Third, some athletes report that methylene blue helps with recovery and reduces fatigue. While the scientific evidence for this is still limited, the anecdotal reports are compelling enough to keep athletes experimenting. In a world where recovery time can determine whether you can train effectively the next day, any potential advantage is worth considering. But here's what's really interesting. The demographic experimenting with methylene blue isn't limited to young elite athletes. There's a growing community of older adults who are using this compound for remarkably similar reasons, just with different goals in mind. As we age, our mitochondrial function naturally declines. This cellular aging process contributes to decreased energy levels, reduced cognitive function, and overall feelings of fatigue that many people associate with getting older. For seniors who want to maintain their mental sharpness and physical vitality, methylene blue represents a potential way to combat these age-related changes at the cellular level. The appeal for older adults is multifaceted. Many report improved mental clarity, better memory, increased energy levels, and even enhanced mood after incorporating methylene blue into their routines. Some describe it as feeling like they've reclaimed years of cognitive function that they thought were gone forever. This has created an unusual phenomenon where 60-year-old retirees and 25-year-old professional athletes are essentially using the same compound for overlapping reasons: the desire to optimize their mental and physical performance, just at different life stages. However, and this is a massive however, we need to address the elephant in the room. The current scientific evidence supporting these claims is far from conclusive. While there are some promising studies on methylene blue's effects on mitochondrial function and cognitive performance, most of this research has been conducted in laboratory settings or small-scale human trials. The reality is that we don't have large-scale, long-term studies examining the effects of regular methylene blue supplementation in healthy individuals. We don't fully understand the optimal dosing protocols, the potential long-term side effects, or how it might interact with other medications or supplements. This lack of comprehensive research means that people experimenting with methylene blue are essentially participating in their own uncontrolled experiments. Let's talk about what we do know about potential risks and side effects. Methylene blue is not a harmless compound, despite what some online communities might suggest. At higher doses, it can cause serious side effects, including serotonin syndrome, especially when combined with certain antidepressants. It can also cause blue discoloration of urine and skin, and in some cases it can interfere with certain medical tests and procedures. There are also concerns about drug interactions. Methylene blue can potentially interact with a wide range of medications, including antidepressants, pain medications, and certain antibiotics. For older adults who are often taking multiple medications, this presents a particularly significant risk. From a regulatory standpoint, methylene blue exists in a grey area. While it's approved for specific medical uses, it's not approved as a dietary supplement or performance enhancer. This means that people purchasing methylene blue online or from alternative sources may not be getting a pure, standardized product. The quality, purity, and dosing can vary dramatically between suppliers, adding another layer of risk to experimentation. So where does this leave us? Are athletes and seniors pioneers exploring the next frontier of human optimization? Or are they taking unnecessary risks with an incompletely understood compound? The truth probably lies somewhere in between. The theoretical basis for methylene blue's potential benefits is scientifically sound. The idea that enhancing mitochondrial function could improve both physical and cognitive performance makes biological sense. The anecdotal reports from users, while not scientifically rigorous, are numerous enough to suggest that something meaningful might be happening. However, the lack of comprehensive safety data and standardized protocols means that anyone considering methylene blue is taking a calculated risk. This might be acceptable for some individuals, particularly those who have consulted with knowledgeable healthcare providers and are carefully monitoring their response. But it's certainly not something to approach casually or without proper research. For athletes specifically, there's also the question of whether methylene blue would be considered a banned substance by various sports organizations. Currently, it doesn't appear on most prohibited substance lists, but this could change as awareness grows and more research emerges. Looking toward the future, it's likely that we'll see more rigorous scientific investigation into methylene blue's potential as a performance enhancer and cognitive aid. The initial research is promising enough to warrant further study, and the growing interest from both athletic and aging communities provides motivation for researchers to conduct larger, more comprehensive trials. In the meantime, if you're considering experimenting with methylene blue, here's what you need to know. Do your research, consult with healthcare providers who understand the compound, start with minimal doses if you proceed, monitor your response carefully, and be aware that you're essentially participating in self-experimentation with limited safety data. The story of methylene blue represents a broader trend in how people are approaching health and performance optimization. We're living in an era where individuals are increasingly willing to experiment with compounds and protocols that exist outside traditional medical and sports nutrition frameworks. This democratization of experimentation has both exciting potential and concerning risks. Whether methylene blue will ultimately prove to be a breakthrough in human performance or a cautionary tale about premature adoption of unproven interventions remains to be seen. What's clear is that the intersection of cellular biology, performance enhancement, and aging research continues to produce fascinating possibilities that challenge our traditional approaches to health and vitality. The blue revolution may be just beginning, but proceed with both curiosity and caution.